tuning in to True Talk. I am Lace by Lex, your host, the founder of True Match Lace Conceal, and we are here with the tape in and aesthetic connoisseur, Miss Kalia.
Hello. Happy to be here.
You look great.
Thank you.
The space is amazing.
Thank you.
I mean, and it smells good too.
Yeah. What's the ambiance? Little sage, little sandalwood, set up to the vibe. Sexy, moody vibe, you know.
All right. So, we don't want to keep you waiting. We're going to jump right into it. So, Miss Kalia, let us know who you are. Who is Kalia, the woman behind Slayology?
I am a perfectionist. I'm a detailed woman. 25 years old. I'm from Ann Arbor, Michigan, right outside of Detroit. I moved to Atlanta 4.5 years ago. It wasn't supposed to be permanent. It was supposed to be temporary to kind of find my way to see if I wanted to become a stylist full-time and take it serious. I moved here for an internship and it became permanent. Started my business here, so yeah.
Okay, and what was the internship for?
It was to become a colorist and hair extensionist at Van Michael Salon in Buckhead 4 years ago. So time flew by.
Alrighty, any children?
No children. What else? You know, I'm a very open person. I'm very loving, caring. I hold my family members, friends really close to me. You know, just value each day.
Very private person.
Very private.
You know, I know you give us lifestyle, but not really what's going on in life.
Yeah, it gets overwhelming being a business owner. Also, balancing your personal life as well. So I more so show the business and the glitz and glam versus what goes on behind the scenes. But I know that I need to show more of all the hard work, sweat, and tears that goes behind building a brand, especially as I go into a new season of developing more as an entrepreneur rather than a hairstylist. So,
and we want to hear a lot more about that. But when you said what you're showing, it just kind of brought me back to the aesthetics of the page. The branding is all bomb.
Thank you.
What inspired you to take that turn in terms of your marketing?
Yes.
The way you're branding, your Instagram pages, the salon, everything.
I think about my environment. I think about my target market, who I wanted to attract. I feel like aesthetic is really big, especially in 2022 with the aesthetic reels, the aesthetic TikToks. I have a lot of YouTube clients, a lot of clients who just enjoy aesthetic in general to set the vibe of getting your hair done and also creating an experience. So I wanted to create a home environment where they can come in, get their hair done, but also create an experience, something memorable.
So did you design the salon on your own?
Yes, actually, there's a chandelier on the ceiling that was a ceiling fan. I put in the lights, did the plumbing, added a marble wall, added a stage because I knew that I wanted to become an educator. Okay. So I knew that I wanted to have a salon but also have a teaching space as well. So I was like, let's build a stage so that when I teach, all eyes on me, but also to have a platform to style as well. So I'll put this curtain up. There's actually a kitchen behind this curtain. So I tried to make it into that high-rise feel, but it also has apartment amenities, even though it is a commercial space. So I wanted to give that home environment feel, but it's a salon.
A woman of many trades.
Yeah.
I mean, you really built out the entire thing.
Yeah.
Okay, and so you said that you already had in mind, before you developed the salon, was this before branding Slayology, you already knew exactly what you wanted to do?
Yes, so I always sit down when I'm going into a new chapter of what I see Slayology long term, and I know that I wanted to give an experience. So what does that look like? I know that in Atlanta, high rise, the big windows gives the atmosphere. So I know I wanted to have that versus having 6 chairs in the salon. I wanted to have 1 chair, be an experience, set the standard for the industry. That way, it more so becomes I can't wait to get my hair done, besides I have to go and sit and get my hair done. They look forward to an appointment.
So. Just to be in the vibe. So what I'm gathering though, especially with the aesthetics of your page, the marketing route that you took, and then kind of basically define the norm, right? In a salon, you're used to seeing several different stations set up. You're like, no, I just want one. So tell me, where does that confidence come from, or where does that risk taker type personality come from, where it's just kind of like, I'm going to challenge the norms, I'm going to come out and do something different, and I just know that it's going to work?
Yeah, definitely. I feel like from where I started, everything moved really fast. From starting from a commissioned salon less than 2 years ago to moving into my own salon. It's really like an extra large suite. You know, I kind of have a lounge area, reception area, bathroom. The clientele that I wanted to be private, and I also attracted, you know, the clientele when I had the space for it. So I knew that the way that everything happened after COVID, people wanted a more intimate space rather than going to a salon. And, you know, after COVID happened, things kind of shifted in the hair industry as a whole, so I wanted to make sure I was staying on top of that as well. Does that answer your question?
It does.
Okay.
I want to back you up just a little bit, right?
Sure.
Because we're talking about, we've had so many good points that kind of like brushed over.
Okay, sure.
We talked about, you know, when you came here, you started in a commission-based salon.
Yes.
I want to know more about that. And then number 2, I want to talk about just the journey leading up to everything, right? So let's talk about the journey first, and then we'll get along the way, get to the commission-based salon.
The journey from when I moved to Atlanta, right?
Where did Slayology come from? And your last name is Slay?
Correct.
So that's how you came up with the Slayology.
Yeah, you know, you gotta change.
I like that.
Thank
so you were born to slay.
I have no hairstylists, no creatives in my family, so this is just kind of crazy how it felt like, you know, with the trending Slay name, it was kind of made for me.
Brand.
So it turned into a brand.
Smart woman.
For
Beauty
sure.
and brand.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's talk about where it all started. Like as a young girl, were you always interested in hair? Were you always interested in this specialty? Take me through the journey.
Honestly, like, this came about like after high school. So I was always interested in the beauty industry. I just didn't really know what I wanted to do. I just knew that I wanted to be a boss of some sort. I didn't know if I wanted to own a school or own a bank. I just wanted to own something. I didn't know what that was gonna be. So I went to NYU for, I wanted to go to school for business marketing. I worked at Indique Hair Extensions, their flagship location, selling the hair extensions for them, right? While I was in college, I actually enjoyed working more than I was going to class. So it opened my eyes to, you can really work at the same time and do something you love, right?
So does it feel like working out?
It clicked for me, right? So I'm from a small town, and you're told, like, go to college, do this, when really, if you have the right tools and you know the right people, you can really get to the next level with experience. So I worked there, and I found my passion when I was like, this is really dope. You can talk about hair all day, and I'm really good at selling. I can sell you one of these compasses right next to us, right?
Okay.
I'm really good at selling, so I became one of their top sellers pretty quickly, and it kind of clicked for me, like, maybe this is my thing, because it never felt like I was at work. I really enjoyed it. So I was like, maybe I can turn this into my career. Didn't really know what my shift was gonna be, but I knew I wanted to drop out of school and I wanted to go to cosmetology school, right? So
let's break this down. So you were going for the business management program,
right?
And discontinued that and said, hey, I want to take a shift. I want to go to cosmetology school.
Yeah, I remember I was like offered a higher position in the company, and I was like, ooh, I'm not gonna have time for school no more. So when am I gonna go to college? When am I gonna go to college? So I dropped out. Actually, I went to school in New York. I dropped out, moved back home to Michigan, moved in with my mom, and I went to cosmetology school. I went to Aveda. I'm a Aveda graduate, and I went to school, knocked it out, 12 months, moved to Atlanta 2 weeks later. 2 weeks later, didn't have a lot of money. I had a vehicle. The money I had saved, bought a decent car, 2010 Dodge Adventure, baby blue.
And at this time, how old were you?
Yes, I was 20. I was 20.
Okay.
I was 20. And used the rest of my money, bought a car, drove that car 12 hours to Atlanta, and figured it out.
Determined. And
Figured it out.
Okay. And how did you feel being like separated from your family? Like that's like a young, like you're an adult, but it's like as soon as you're coming out of the mix. So how was that? Just being apart from your parents, being alone. Did you come with anyone else?
I didn't. My sister was living here at the time. She was living here for about 3 months. Then she ended up moving to another state. So I was able to have somebody in the very, very beginning. But after that, I was on my own, right? What was your last question?
Basically, just being alone, like over here. But you kind of answered that already.
I'm a risk taker.
I'm seeing. I'm listening.
I'm okay with being alone to kind of figure it out. I feel like it forces you to become a better person. You learn a lot about yourself when you're put in positions where you gotta grind, you gotta figure out how you're gonna get it, right?
Right.
So I feel like that transition of me moving to New York so young and figuring out my passion, then me making that big decision in my life so young that, okay, don't finish college, don't do what your parents are telling you to do what you want to do. I feel like I learned a lot about myself during that time, as well as taking that leap of faith. I feel like grew me into the person I am today.
I like that. So now we're going to fast forward. After that, are we going into the commission-based salon job opportunity?
Yes, so I moved here. I was offered an internship, finished the internship. Then I actually applied to every salon in Atlanta, and everybody turned me down 3 years ago.
Except one. This one.
Except one.
And how was that experience, though, working in a commission-based salon?
I didn't mind it back then. You know, I felt like I really learned a lot from the stylists who are around me. They all had a special value in the hair industry. And I really appreciated that time because I learned a lot from everybody individually.
Okay. So. And then from there, where did we go?
From there, COVID happened.
Okay.
So it kind of forced me to say, okay, like we're able to build, what's next? Because the world shut down, so it's like you were able to figure it out during those months where we couldn't service.
Right.
It was a scary time because it's like, what's gonna happen? When are we gonna get out of lockdown? Like, are we gonna be back to servicing? Because we touch people,
right.
You know. So I really didn't know. It was a really scary time, COVID.
It was for all of us.
When we go back to real life, like, can we still service? Like, what's gonna happen? So, you know, Atlanta opened up super quick.
I don't even know if they ever closed. I mean, my goodness.
You know. So I think the world opened back up in May, and I was like, I'm gonna give it like 4 more weeks and see if everybody gets sick.
Let me get it first.
You know, and then I'm gonna figure out what's my next step before I jump into getting a contract with a suite.
So you came right out of COVID. I'm sure you had like your finances were on pause. So that must have meant you had great financial management.
Right.
Okay.
Oh, for sure.
Okay, so you were already stowing away for a rainy day.
Yes.
So we come out of COVID and we're already thinking to open a new salon.
Yeah, well, not this one, right? So I was at a salon suite with other stylists. So you know how they have like individual rooms in one building. So that's where I went from there. I went to Gregory Bank Salons in Midtown. It's probably 10 minutes from here. They're cubicles. So there are about 4 other stylists who were on the floor with me. I stayed there for about 13 months. While I was looking for another space, I stacked a lot when I was there. I remember my first month there out of COVID was the most money I've ever made in my life. Fresh out of COVID when I got there.
Fresh out of COVID.
Fresh out of COVID. I was like, all right, I did something. So I'm not a spender, I'm a saver. So I made sure that I was really frantic after COVID happened, thinking, if we go back into lockdown, I better make sure I stack this money.
Right.
You know, so I'm a saver, so I was making sure I was saving exactly for a stormy day, really. To make sure if lockdown happened, I was straight. So all that money I stowed away, I was like, you know what? I'm ready to move up a step. I try to, as an entrepreneur, give myself a raise or, you know, something every year, something big. So I promised myself after I made that shift from the commission salon to the salon suite that I was gonna make sure that the next year I'm going even higher. So once my year anniversary came up for the salon suite, I was like, okay, what's next? What are you doing now? Like,
and you know what? I'm listening to you. You're so young, but you're so like determined and you're so responsible. So that's like I'm even getting inspired. Like this is dope. Okay. So after that, about like 4 months before I found this location, I was looking for a really big space to open up salon suites for other stylists because I knew that I wanted to be an educator and fill the suites in with kind of stylists with my aesthetic and, you know, stylists who really truly care about their clients. So that's what I was looking for. Unfortunately, I couldn't find anything. And then this came about. So you made it.
My next door neighbor, shout out to Kathy. I actually worked with her at the commission salon. I met her like when I'm like kind of going out the door. We spent about 3 months together. She actually told me about this space and I checked it out and I was like, I can kind of visualize how I'm gonna set it up. This is perfect. It's in the city, good parking. Let's do it. I didn't really question it. got approved. I was like, great. I was still working at the suite while I was decorating this spot for about 2 months.
Smart.
So I would work my 8-hour day, come straight here, figure out how I was gonna get this ready, so that way I had a good transition between salon, suite, and owner.
That was smart. Okay, so you're beautiful. You're smart. You're responsible. You're determined. Give us one thing that would shock us to know about you.
I don't know. Come back to that one.
Come back to that.
Yeah.
All right. So what we're gonna go into now is the taping trends, right? I want to know, like, basically this just came from out of nowhere, and we were talking a little bit off camera, like it just became the wave. How do you feel that came about?
Well, taping's been around for years and years and years, right? It's new to the Black community, right? So I feel like overseas and other vendors and hair companies started to make our texture, and I think it was me and a couple other stylists about 3 years ago who were really doing tapings consistently. And Instagram is so popular, right? So once you see one hair texture getting it, you know, the next hair texture getting it, it's like, oh, well, this new technique, in the Black community, it's a new technique. It can be for everyone versus just having a microlink installation. Oh, we have a new way, right? So I feel like other stylists kind of tried to hop on, and then it became this big thing. I feel like in the past year, really the past 6 months, it's been even more popular. Yeah, I feel like people just want to try something new and fresh, and I feel like people are phasing out of closures and wigs and want to see, you know, natural always is going to be in style. So I feel like, you know, it's something new. Everyone wants to try it. Everyone wants to try it.
And that's something that we talk about with the wig installations too, because you have a lot of clients that are just like, just put my wig back on, just put my wig back on.
Right.
Everything comes full cycle. So we know natural is coming back, but I want to know, what do you think caused it to take such like an overhaul of the industry? Do you feel it was a certain influencer, or what do you think caused that to happen in, I guess, the hair industry?
Yes, I definitely feel like influencers play a really big role in any shift in fashion, hair, whatever, you know. People are looking up to those influencers on, okay, what's next? What do I do next with my hair? What do I do next with my outfits? Who do I shop with next? So I feel like when bigger influencers did start wearing tapings, it became a whoa to stylists, like, oh my God, these girls who've been wearing wigs for years are shifting out of natural, like, let me get on that wave, let me hop on the natural wave, because natural's always gonna be in, no matter what, right? So I don't really know what took it to the next level, but it's definitely like in the last 6 months, everybody wants it. Right? Because it's the new thing.
Right. And for those of you who are just tuning in, we're sitting here with Kalia, the founder and owner of Slayology, the taping and aesthetic connoisseur. I've named you the connoisseur. I've named you the connoisseur. And if you're just joining, tonight we are giving away, as usual on True Talk. Kalia, can you let us know what we're giving away tonight? And
yes.
What you need to do to participate?
We're giving a full experience here at Slayology Studio, a taping installation, full service start to finish with hair included.
And what do they need to do to participate? Dun, 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 dun.
Dun, dun, dun. Let's see. To participate, text Slayology to 912-670-6652. Again, text Slayology to 912-670-6652.
And once you have joined to participate in the giveaway, go ahead and let us know that you've done so by commenting done, so we'll know who the participants are.
Yes.
All right, so we're going to take a step back, right?
Okay.
In the journey. We want to talk a little bit about how you manage to balance everything. I know there was one post where you posted a reel, and you kind of showed your transition from, you had the keys for getting your salon.
Yeah.
It looks like you were going on a vacation maybe. There was like a suitcase.
Got flued out. Got paid to get.
Oh, you got flued out.
Yeah, I know that's right, girl. For work, I was so happy.
Right, and then there was also a clip in there where it looks like you were at the hospital, and then it's like you bounce right back into the swing of things. Talk to us about that transition that you were letting us in on.
Yes, so I was specializing in eye tips at the time, and with eye tips you have to use a specific plier, the same plier you use for eye tips, the same plier you use for microlinks, excuse me. So I developed really, really bad carpal tunnel in my right wrist and my arm and my elbow. Like it kind of was a whole
Just
shift
from doing it so often?
Pain. Yes, I I-tips like back to back to back, right? So I became really popular in I-tips, and then I was like, I'm having a lot of pain, like I need to kind of phase out of the I-tips because I can't really service as much anymore. I remember one day I was doing a blowout and completely dropped my blow dryer. I lost all feeling in my hand, and I was out of work for about 3 to 4 weeks. And it was really scary. They told me that I needed to have surgery in order to move forward with my hand. And I was talking to other stylists who went through the same journey, and they were saying if you get surgery, you're not gonna be able to do hair like how you normally would. So that scared me also. So I was like, what do I do? You know? So I was like, well, I probably just need to take a break. They said just don't use your hand as much and cut back, and so that's what I did.
Did you stop? Did you close your books completely, or what did that look like?
At the time, so this was about a year ago. This happened. The big scare happened about a year ago, and I just cut back. I was taking like 8 people a day. I'm a hustler, so
8 people a day.
I was color, tape, microling install, my maintenance.
Hustler.
Like I was in there before everybody got there, and I was there late closing. So I was taking.
If you guys aren't inspired by now, I don't know what you guys are doing.
Yeah, I definitely. If you need your hair done, I was gonna stay late. Like I was gonna figure it out for you. You know, I was in their building stage, and so that happened to my wrist, and I had to cut back a lot. So it took some time off, and then when I reopened my books, I just was like, okay, I need to cut back and maybe take like 4 to 5 people a day, or maybe 2 to 5 people a day. So I cut back a lot so I could give my hand a break. And I was going to therapy. I have advice for any stylist who is currently doing I-tips or any services with a plier. It's very dangerous if you're not currently doing like hand therapy. So to do therapy while you're doing those services before it's too late and you have to cut back is really scary, because I was blessed. I prayed on my hand and I was able to go back to servicing. But what if I couldn't? My career would have.
I'm sure you had a plan B though. You seem like a
for sure.
Yeah. All right. So just to dab back into tape-ins, right? Let's talk about who can get tape-ins and who cannot. I know you had some specific instructions for me when we were talking about the candidates that we choose. So I want to talk a little bit about that for those who are ready to ride the wave.
For sure. So I wouldn't say it discriminates between any hair texture in particular, but it really just depends on your goal. And it also depends on how you plan to wear your hair. What's your daily hair routine over the next 2 months of where you're going to wear this install, right? So if you're going on a summer trip to Jamaica and you're going to plan to jump in the ocean, well, the sea salt water or the chlorine that is in the water is going to break down the adhesive in the tape-ins. So it really overall just depends on your goal. Also, you have to have the natural length for it to have that ponytail effect look. So you have to have at least 6 to 8 inches of hair stretched out, so you have that natural looking flow. And now I'm talking about edges, leave out, everything needs to be that length. And
so it's important to take care of your natural hair.
So important to take care of your natural hair. No matter what install you're getting. Even if you're getting wigs in between styles, to take care of your natural hair. That way you have an option, not your only option.
Right.
So yeah.
Okay, and then so we talked a little bit about texture. So even for the 4C, super coily, what does that look like?
Yeah, so my 4C girls, you absolutely can get tape-ins. The only thing is, when your natural hair grows out, that new growth is going to be exposed. So when your hair starts to grow out mid-month or by the end of the month, you're going to have to take it out, because when you do your silk press, it's not going to be as flat to your head because your new growth is exposed, right?
Okay.
So that's why you see more of the finer textures or natural wavy and straight, getting those textures, or hair that can be easily blown out, because you absolutely can get them. It doesn't discriminate between any hair texture, but just know that your new growth is going to be exposed, so it might last you as long. Does that make sense?
It does. And for the natural texture girls who are probably around a 4B, 4C, are you suggesting relaxers, or are you just kind of just letting them know, hey, you'll have to re-up before, other texture types will need to?
Sometimes with my clients, I refer, if they're not wanting to take out their investment after 4 weeks, 6 weeks, because it's supposed to last.
To that as an investment.
It's an investment.
Oh my goodness. Go ahead. Go ahead.
So if you don't want to do that, there's other options. That's okay. It's going to give you the same look if you go with microlinks, which I call the Weft install, because you're able to move up over the new growth. That way it's like having a fresh install every 3 to 4 weeks. versus the tape-ins. It's like you have to wear it out, then take it out. So it really just depends on what you're going for. You're also your budget. Tape-ins aren't cheap. So, you know, it depends on a lot of things. What's your goal? What's your budget? How do you plan to wear it? What's your daily hair routine? If you're doing slick back buns with edge control, which are high in alcohol or hairsprays, you probably want to go with another option. Or if you like me, where you like to really oil up your scalp in the wintertime, tape-ins aren't going to last as long. So it's a lot that kind of goes with it that people don't really think about. Like, oh, I really want to get this installed. But if you spend $700, $1,000 on this investment, right, for the hair, and
that's just for hair.
That's just for hair.
Okay.
And it can go up from there depending on where you purchase from and depending on your desired look. It can go up, and you know, when you go up in grams for the density, depending on your desired look, is going to change in price, right? So it depends on what you're looking for. Okay. So a lot goes into it. It's not as simple as people may think.
And so that's why you require consultations before you service.
Absolutely, because a lot of people don't know you need to have this natural length to get the effect. Like you see on Instagram, it's because those girls have the natural length. Or maybe they're not putting it up in a ponytail because that wasn't their goal for the next 2 months, you know. So
right.
it's a lot that goes into it.
Okay, and I'm just gonna back you up a little bit. I know you brought up micro leads.
Yes.
I actually I used to wear micro links all the time, but my horrible experience with micro links, when I went to a specific stylist, when they tried to remove the micro links, it tore my hair so badly. So I want to get into what the difference of micro links are from tape-ins, and then also what should the girls look for when they're selecting a specific stylist. You know, everyone can learn every trade on YouTube these days. So let's get the girls some gems on, you know, what to look for when they're selecting their stylist to do their tape-ins.
Yes, so let me go back to microlinks real quick because you said you receive damage. It depends on who installs it, you know, their proper knowledge on installation, also removal, and did she educate you on how to take care of your hair once you left the chair, plays a part as well. So if she did everything right, but she didn't educate you on, okay, I need to see you back at this time, or what products are you using to take care of your hair at home, you absolutely can receive damage no matter if she did it perfectly. You want to choose a stylist who's really, really educated on the service they're providing, because yeah, they can learn a trade at a class and be great at installation, but if they don't have the knowledge to give you to take home, so this is what you need to do when you get home, or I need to see you back at this time, you could receive damage. You know, all of your natural hair is still out, so I'm adding extensions on top. If you don't know how to properly treat your natural hair with the extensions on top, you know, it could go right or left, right?
Right.
So choosing a stylist who is really knowledgeable and who has a lot of experience, because experience comes with perfection as well.
Okay, so what we got from that for the stylists out there, it's very important to educate your clients and your customers on how to take care of their installations. And number two, for the customers who are interested in getting the tape-ins, make sure that you're receiving some sort of consultation, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
Before you commit to receiving that service, and that they're really educating you. Now, for those that may just sweet talk the girls into getting that service, what are some things they can look for right away that'll be a telltale sign, like, hey, you should go with it, or no, you shouldn't?
If a stylist doesn't offer a consultation or have that as a requirement, that's a red flag. You know? Right. If a stylist doesn't ask to see photos of your natural hair or current photos of your natural hair, or maybe come in, let you see, like if you express that you had damage from a previous stylist installation, I'm probably gonna say, you know what, let's come in person for me to open up your hair, check everything out, make sure everything looks good before we proceed, because I can't tell you, yes, we can do this, and then you come in the chair thinking, you know, this expectation of you're getting the install done, but your hair is not healthy enough, you know, to make sure your hair is healthy enough in order to proceed. So if they're not asking you those questions, that's a red flag. Okay,
and for those of you who have joined us to participate in our tape-in installation giveaway, you'll notice that we did ask for photos for Ms. Kalia to see if you're a great candidate. If you're just tuning in, we are giving away again a free tape-in installation, and you'll text Slayology to 912-670-6652, and make sure you let us know that you're done in the comments. Alrighty, so, and one last thing about the tape-ins. Should they ever remove their tape-ins on their own, or should you always follow up with your stylist for removal?
Yes, absolutely do not install on your own. I don't even really remove my own tape-ins because you can't really see what's going on in the back of your head, you know, even with the mirror. So stylists are going to use the correct product in order to remove, so you're not applying alcohol to your scalp to dry your hair out. So it's always important to see a stylist to get it removed during also the allotted time. Like, don't oversee when you're supposed to get the removal done, kind of in the time frame of 8 to 10 weeks max.
Okay. Do you do your own hair, Kalia?
Sometimes.
Okay.
It just depends on what I'm getting done. I used to be a sewing girl, so I used to go to other stylists. But if I do my own tape-ins and microlinks, I kind of put them in, but they don't look perfect because I can't see what's going on back there.
Okay.
But you know, the overall style looks like something.
Little finesse, real quick.
Yeah.
Alrighty, and another question I have for you: what do you prefer for your own hair, tape-ins or microlinks?
You know, I truly love both for different reasons. I have tape-ins in currently, but I'm a microlink girl. I am.
And tell us the biggest difference between the two.
One's a weft and one's an individual strip. So one's sensitive to one's sensitive to moisture and one is not. So I like to work out, I like to sit in the sauna, I like to oil my scalp, and tape-ins are like, those are all red flags for the tape-ins, right? So I like wefts because I feel like I can be a little more aggressive with brushing and oils, versus tape-ins, you have to be a little more cautious of that.
Okay, and one more big thing that and my final thing about tape-ins that you mentioned, budget. It depends on your budget. So we talked about, I believe you said about $700 to $1,000 just for the hair, right?
It could go up from there. My clients spend $700 to $2,000 depending on what they're getting with length and color and things like that. It goes up, and this is just the hair cost alone from purchasing from outside brands. So it definitely it goes up in price depending on the length, the texture. What you going for? What's your goal?
Okay, and what about the service? What can they expect to spend on average?
It depends on what stylist. I'm seeing right here in the city anywhere from $300 to $800 for the service without color. This is just installing. That's like the max you'll spend. I'm seeing in the industry. I'm not at that 8 mark, but that's just kind of what's going on in the industry right now, depending on experience and who you're working with. Okay,
and do you care to share what your rates were?
I'm gonna pass on those.
Okay. All right. So you made a post discussing that, kind of highlighted that some customers says that prices are too high, and you said the prices are not too high. That's just not the right client.
Yes.
Let's talk about it.
Yes. So you know, you're not just paying for the service, because we don't get all of the profit from the service. We're paying for the space. We're paying for the products. You know, I have an assistant, I'm paying for that as well. You know, if we offer a beverage, that comes in the cost. I mean, I can go on and on and on. The aesthetic every month. So we're not profiting the full cost. So I feel like if a client says the price is too high, I don't feel like that's the client for you.
And how do you typically deal with that situation?
I've never had that happen before, but I know from teaching, a lot of my students ask me how do I deal with that situation. Unfortunately, I've never, not unfortunately. Fortunately, I've never been in that, situation before to answer that question. But I just tell them that's just not the client for you. If they're questioning their price point, you should never have to answer that question.
Okay, and for any that are aspiring to be in the industry, how would you suggest that they go about pricing their services?
On experience, be real with yourself. Don't take one class and think you're charging, max prices. When I started out, I can say what I started out charging $250 for a tape-in installation a couple years ago, and I kind of went up from there based on my experience. I feel like I got really great at my consultations, which is a service as well. I got really confident in my styling, just trial and error. I learned how to really master the service. I feel like you should be real with yourself. Like, don't charge max prices if you're not their skill level. And also your space, where you're located, all that comes into the price as well. So if you're great at styling, but you're not in a great part of town, or the parking, is a headache when they arrive to you, I feel like the experience should start to finish from when I would visit your Instagram page, when I go on your website, versus when I leave from you. The experience should be consistent. All that rolls into the price as well.
Okay. All right, so now we're gonna dig a little deeper into lifestyle. You made a post recently about, and I believe you were wrapping a class at this time, about your friend stepping in when you were still looking for help in the salon. Let's talk about it.
Yes, so I had to let go of my last assistant. Can't really go into what happened there, but it was an unfortunate situation where I had to let her go 2 days before a master class. I don't have any other team members, it's just myself. So one of my friends reached her hand out. I kind of told her what happened with the situation, and she's actually pregnant. She's about to be 8 months pregnant. She reached out to help me set up for the master class, make sure I was ready to go to teach the next day. So.
And I know we talked a little off camera about this, but it's just so important to have a support system, especially when you're taking that leap as an entrepreneur and actually going into salon management, right? So it's not just that you're coming in, you're servicing your clients, you get to go, you pay your booth rent. There's so much more that goes into it, right? Mm-hmm. So since then, have you been able to build a team, or how does that look?
Not yet. I was able to hire a new assistant. She's actually behind the camera. I'm looking through the comments now. It's been great. She's been with me almost 2 weeks now. So I don't have any other team members, but definitely this summer going into fall, I plan to have a full team. That way we can continue and grow, and customer service always be on point.
Mm-hmm. And I think that's just something that a lot of consumers miss, like that team aspect and how difficult it may be balancing that lifestyle and then also making sure to the services you're able to offer. Right? So are your books currently closed? Do you plan to open them?
Yes, my books are closed right now. So we are doing like private bookings right now, so it's not open to the public for new clients.
Okay, and you'll just let everyone know once you're able to start receiving.
There is a
turn on your post notifications.
Definitely. There is a wait list on the Slayology Co.com website, so whenever we do decide, we're in the transition with a lot of things that are taking up a lot of our time, especially
just growth, success, abundance. So
we're just in a shift right now. So it's taking up a lot of our time, just trying to develop a team and focus on education is the demand right now, to make sure, since I'm not servicing, okay, well, these are a list of stylists that I can recommend. A lot of my students fly in to take the class as well. So I'm making sure I'm educating students all over the country to service the clients who do want to come to me, so they're receiving the same service.
And I do like that. Not that you're just kind of like, I'm unavailable, but I'm unavailable for a reason. But in the meantime, I have some great people that I put in place for you.
Exactly.
Right? Okay, so that leads us into celebrity clientele. All right, so let's talk about all of the celebrities you've serviced so far. Mm-hmm. Can you give us a roster, a list?
A list? Yes. Of celebrities or influencers as well?
You can include the influencers.
Okay.
You have some pretty hot tickets on the roster.
Yes, so all of them either have been to me once or reoccurring. I'll just list off the ones that are on the page. Aaliyah Space, Kyra they've been with me for over a year. Well, Aaliyah's been with me for about 3.5 years. They're both YouTubers. Kyra's been with me for a year now. We actually, both of them, developed a friendship over the years. Jada is also a recurring client. Lotto has been to me once before. Cash Doll. What's some other names? I have a brain freeze. What are some other names?
I'm with you.
Yeah.
Let me see. I don't think there's
Carlay.
And I know you have Erica Mena.
Right?
So a long list.
I can't even really
certified
right now.
So we just want to talk about, how was that moment for you when you got your first celebrity client? How did that feel? And who was that first celebrity client?
Cash Doll was my first known celebrity client.
Mm-hmm.
It was so cool. I did her tape and installation. I knew her for about 2 weeks. They actually flew me to LA to do her music video. That was super fun. I was around all my favorite artists in the same room, so it was cool to receive the recognition that I feel like I deserved. It was cool. I'm gonna start on the rise.
Okay, cool, right? And how did that happen?
It happened quickly. I feel like everything kind of happened at once, and I'm just so grateful. I thank God every day. Sometimes I leave here, and I'm just really grateful that things are moving in the right direction that I prayed for. So.
And I think that it sounds to me, from just hearing your story, that was a part of the plan, because you were saying early on with the branding, the aesthetics, the way that you set up the salon, you kind of knew who that target audience was, right? Am I right?
Yeah, you definitely have to create a space to attract the people that you want. Definitely.
Okay. So I asked you a couple of those. What has been your favorite celebrity moment so far?
I would say Lotto. I'm a big fan. That was a big moment for me. I feel like I supported her back when she was on, you know, the TV show she started on when she was younger. I don't remember. It was a competition and she won. So I was watching her for years. So it was just kind of like a moment of like, dang, I really truly support and love this.
So did you have like a geek out moment, like oh, I have to try to play humble, like let me try to play cool?
Actually, no, it was like a homegirl moment. Like she was super sweet. That moment right there, it was like, wow, like she came to me and she already had the hairstyle, so I felt like it spoke volume to me, and also I truly support her as an artist, listen to her music all the time, so it was just kind of like, oh wow, like I support you, support me. It was a really dope moment.
That's cool, that's cool.
Yeah.
So now that you have more celebrity clientele, would you say that?
It's growing. It's starting to grow, yeah.
Okay, how do you find your work-life balance?
I'm a hard worker and I don't mind working, right? So just making sure at least once a month I take time to do something small for myself. If I can't take a vacation, you know, doing self-care days, even if I can't leave the city, and just taking time to breathe and woosah and do something that I enjoy.
That's good. And now let me ask you, they see a lot more of your travel and your lifestyle on your personal page, right? There are a lot of kind of vlogs for traveling, a lot of lifestyle. Have you gotten time to do that recently, or is that all like prior to?
I think I have like 2 on there that are recent, but I told myself I want to really start traveling and enjoying, you know, the life that I'm providing. Versus being work. So I definitely feel like going into the summer to start traveling more and take time away from work to actually enjoy life as well.
Your phone will be off the hook.
Oh,
it's over there. You have to put it on Do Not Disturb.
Definitely to have a balance though.
Definitely, and I want to get into that because I even know myself, being a hairstylist, like we used to see several customers a day, and I had gotten to a point where it was like burnout, literally burnout. Like I felt like I was not in touch with myself, my children, and you know, it's just like I had lost that balance. So then it takes you from loving the craft and looking forward to going to work each day to almost like I'm ready to go home. Like I need this break. So can you talk to us a little bit about some things you put in place to make sure you keep that balance and you don't wear out from the craft? Because you work so hard.
For sure. I get burnt out. I do get burnt out. Not since I moved into this space, but when I was taking all those clients a day, it gets really, really, really tiring, especially on your body. So making sure you take time so you don't get tired of it, because if you take a break from it, you really truly miss being away and you miss your clients, you miss the interaction. So making sure you have time to take breaks away from it so you miss it, so you don't get burnt out by you know, the repetitiveness.
So you plan to take more vacations to try to level out?
Just a couple days, slide out, come right back. Service, I can't be going too long.
You definitely can.
Yeah.
All right. So let's go into your classes, because you're obviously teaching others how to provide this service. What brought that about?
The demand, really. You know, when people started reaching out like, hey, do you do one-on-ones? Actually about 2 years ago, people started kind of slowly trickling in, like maybe like once every 3 months. And then a rush of people kind of came when they saw that I started showing more of the experience and more of the business side of it. They're like, oh, like she's dope, like I would love to learn from her, versus me being talented. It's like I have a very business-minded personality, so I feel like I definitely can mentor the students versus just showing them the installation technique. It's let me show you how to build your business, let me show you how to get to the next level, because I've done it from scratch, and also let me show you how to do the service as well, so you are a memorable stylist as well.
Okay, and we saw a couple of those videos from your classes, and it almost looks like you have like color coordination going on. Is that a part of the aesthetic?
Oh yeah.
Is that a part of the class?
It's new, right? So dress code.
Dress code. Tell us about that.
Yeah, it's just a part of the vibe, the aesthetic. Like come in and we're all a family. Let's match. Let's create an environment of fun. Like let's make the class engaging. Come in like, oh, your outfit's cute, girl, or where'd you get that from? So It just creates a vibe. I'm all about aesthetics, so
I see. I'm calling you the aesthetics.
Don't come in here with bright red.
Alrighty. And so now that you're going into classes, can you let us know what's next? Is this the move from behind the chair, or what is Kalia doing next?
Well, for the people on this live, I'm starting a hair company.
Okay.
So that's coming out very, very soon. A lot of companies are launching within the next year, so be on the lookout for that.
Okay, and your collections that are coming out?
We don't have a month yet.
A sneak peek.
That's what's taking all the time, so we can't really announce that yet. Everything's still in development. It's been a long time coming, but it's time. It's time.
Alrighty, so Miss Kalia, founder of Slayology, she's let us know the journey to get here. Just to stay determined.
Yes.
You know, keep the vision alive. Make sure you're a hard worker. Now it's time to transition from the hard work to slide from behind the chair and get it and wear her entrepreneur hat. She's definitely business savvy. She does have courses to go ahead and teach you all who are interested in the industry, and they can find you. Let them know where they can find you.
So for the classes, Slayology Pro is the Instagram, and SlayologyPro.com. You can book the educational courses. Right now we're doing master classes. We're in the process of planning a tour. We're coming to a city near you to teach as well. And then for the waiting list for appointments, SlayologyCo.com.
Alright, and you hear there's an extensive waiting list, but guess what? We've been able to score for one lucky winner tonight, a free tape-in installation by Miss Kalia, founder of Slayology. Kalia, can you let them know one more time how they can join us?
Yes, ma'am. For a full service tape-in experience, you want to text Slayology, SLAYOLOGY, to 912-670-6652. That's 912-670-6652. Text Slayology.
And once you text, let us know that you've done so by commenting done. And be sure to respond with your photos, which is a requirement from Miss Kalia, the professional. Thank you so much. I appreciate you taking time out to meet with us and share your beautiful space with us.
Thank you.
Once I send over those photos to you and we choose our candidate, we will be sure to announce them on both our stories, True Match Lace Conceal, and she will participate in letting you know who the winner is. Thank you so much for joining us on True Talk. I hope this has been encouraging, informational, and motivational. Join us next time to see who our special guest may be. Until then, good night.
Good.